Tanweeb Lesson Two, Learning Al-Aqidah. The creed is a science, right? So I wrote a letter to the believers because once when we pass the stage of the declaration, El-Istahda, we come into a different version of the same knowledge. So the creed is basically backing up the actual declaration. And the reason why I wrote this letter called the letter to the believers, it was kind of sort of to prep them for the information in the creed to come. So the creed is a science. It is the key to understanding our origin, our structure, our evolution, and our eternal existence. It is the key to building a new world, new consciousness, a perfect being, a supreme being. The belief in the creed must be expressed in the willingness to do in the name of it. Devotion is its rule, and nothing good comes to those who betray it. The creed is in our blood, it's in our DNA, it is our reason for being. The creed is the true ruler of the imperial order, and our Fariti Messiah, the Nur Tanaya al Mahdi, is its guardian, for he represents the first sacrifice for it. The creed is believed in, it is worshipped, it lives in the hearts of all true imperial NUWAUBUians, and is the most infallible aspect of our life. No one is above it. All must profess belief in it and be willing to die for it. With this energy infused in it, the authority has decreed it as the source of life for all NUWAUBUians of the imperial order. The creed is the passport to the next world and is the injunction of our divine right to rule in this world. Through the creed, we embrace our superiority as a race. Is the manifestation of the divine itself, and our breed is the most superior of its kind. The imperial creed encourages the pursuit of glory by establishing our supremacy over all non-NUWAUBUians in the known world. I believe, therefore, for the creed, I do. In this letter, what I'm actually trying to convey is the belief in the creed alone, coming straight out of the holy tablets, is one of the most powerfulest bodies of information when you really analyze it. And there is nothing written in any other doctrines that actually can match it, because the master teacher was the best, and I'm going to keep promoting that. That was God on earth to us in the NUWAUBUian community. So the creed, based on the words of the master teacher, was some of the most profound information that was ever given to the NUWAUBUian community, and it has not been contested up to this day. So let's move forward. Al-Aqidah, the imperial creed. So when we actually do the creed, we do it in question and answer. So this is the first statement of belief in the creed, and it'll go to the second, to the third, to the fourth, to the fifth, and you'll get the gist of the message that the creed is actually explaining, as well as for those of you all who've been studying and are familiar with the holy tablets, you'll see the science and where all this stuff is actually stemming from. Again, I didn't make this up. This is straight out of the holy tablets. All I did was take NUWAUBIC words and actually define or explain these particular principles or concepts, so that we would be actually incorporated in our language, in our foundation. So what is this first statement of belief in the imperial creed? The answer is, we believe that 9 ether beings created the universes in their etheric form that personified themselves as flesh and blood beings. Right? This is the first creed. Then we ask, what does it mean? Meaning, in our primeval state, we existed in the form of floating gases called plasma, brought into existence from non-ether consciousness, who performed the first act of thought that caused creation to unfold in the form of us, the various gods and goddesses who formed the company of gods out of the one entity and became the cosmic forces, principles, and laws of the universe. What is its scientific statement of proof? The magnetic currents that flow through the etheric substance is what causes carbon atoms to be attracted to the etheric form. As the vibrations of the etheric form starts to slow up, the carbon atoms gain the ability to stick to the atoms of the etheric form. and this forms the flesh of the physical body. This is how non-ether beings personify themselves as flesh and blood beings. So as you can see in the first creed, it basically outlines that we believe that non-ether beings created the universe in their etheric form, and they personify themselves as flesh and blood beings. This is all in chapter 1, El-Istakhlaq, the creation tablet of the Holy Tablet. And then it goes on to give you the scientific statement of proof, right? As well as what does that mean when we say we believe that they created the universes in their etheric form and personified themselves as flesh and blood beings. All of this actually comes from the Holy Tablet. There's none of these answers that you cannot find either in the Living Soul chapter or the Creation tablet or the various other different tablets where all of this information was compiled into this systematic format. So we're going to move on to the next creed. What is the second statement of the Imperial Creed? We believe that dark-skinned, woolly-haired people are the physical manifestation of non-ether. What does it mean? Meaning, non-ether is the chemical formula that produces black or brown skin and woolly-haired people. Manifestation means the same thing in another form. What is his scientific statement of proof? Flame color is influenced by the elements being burnt, and non-ether is the combination of all existing gases of nature. Therefore, when non-ether gases burn, they produce an unfathomably high temperature, which results in the fastest frequencies of electromagnetic radiation being produced, specifically UVB and ultraviolet rays, which causes melanogenesis at the highest level in our DNA. So in this particular creed, we're basically describing how we are the physical manifestation of non-ether. And given the scientific proof, now this is basic scientific proof. Of course, it can go more in depth. However, this is just like a basic explanation to get your minds kind of moving and studying the Holy Tablets so that you can actually learn how we became what we became from this particular spiritual substance, non-ether, and why we are so adamant about teaching the creed as one of the most powerful aspects of our foundation. What is the third statement of belief in the Imperial Creed? We believe that non-ether is the mental power and chemical combination of all existing gases of nature, and that nothing anywhere can be as powerful as all existing gases and chemicals of nature. Therefore, non-ether is the most potent power in all the boundless universes. What does it mean? Meaning that non-ether has the mental capacity and functions as an meaning that non-ether has mental capacity and functions as an intelligent substance with the ability to reason, being as though it is made up of all existing gases. It is thus made up of all existing information. Potent in this case means the most chemically capable. Therefore, it has the ability to form any kind of chemical combination, making it the most intelligent. So from here, family, what we're basically trying to elaborate on is the fact of everything in existence is made up of gases. And we know that gases combine in different chemical combinations to form different things. If non-ether is all existing gases of nature, the reason why nothing can be as powerful as all existing gases of nature is because these particular entities, these gases, actually have all of the information within inside of it to be able to create the various different things that we see that are formed from chemical combinations in nature. Therefore, if non-ether is all existing gases of nature, that means non-ether holds all information. Information is anything that can be detected by the physical senses in a simple way of understanding it, because everything that can be made up of gases or chemical combinations that can be detected by the physical senses. And we know that our senses work as electrical transducers to actually convert natural phenomena into electric signals so that we can be able to see, hear, feel, touch, and so on and so forth, and use even some of the higher senses. And potent, when you actually look the word up, it means the most chemically capable. That's why the master teacher taught us that non-ether is the most potent power in all the boundless universes, because it's the most chemically capable, because there is no chemical combination that non-ether cannot produce in order to bring into existence anything that is made up of a chemical combination. What is the scientific statement of proof? The forces of non-ether called black forces created life in the water first. Hydrocarbons were present in the waters. Hydrocarbon is a simple methane gas which only contains hydrogen and carbon. The word hydrogen itself means hydro, or water, and carbo means charcoal or black. So these black gases of non-ether are the celestial origin of NUWAUBUs. What is the fourth statement of belief in the Imperial Creed? We believe that NUWAUBUan is a sacred identity and that it is the original racial identity of the black race because it is the only identity that properly defines the racial spiritual origin of dark-skinned woolly-haired people. And we've already explained the spiritual definition of NUWAUBUan, non-ether being, and we've also explained the racial ethnic meaning of NUWAUBUan being of Nubian people, and there is no other term or identity that properly describes us in totality like this particular identity. This is why we have the imperial order definitely embrace with a very high level of affection the actual racial spiritual identity or sacred identity NUWAUBUan. What does it mean? Meaning that NUWAUBUan is a holy identity because it defines us scientifically as gods, being that non-ether is a spiritual substance and creator of the universe, and the sacred name NUWAUBUan means non-ether beings. What is its scientific statement of proof? The word NUWAUBUan is a modified form of the word NUPU, which both come from the root word nu, which is the ancient Nubic term for non-ether, and the suffix ian means being or people. Thus, the name NUWAUBUan literally means non-ether being. The Holy Tablets, chapter 19, tablet 6, verses 187 and 188, it states, new words was introduced and people grabbed onto them quickly and started calling themselves NUWAUBUans instead of black this or black that or Afro this or Afro that. Verse 188 states, you are NUWAUBUans. You are originally from Nubia. So in this particular chapter, tablet, and verses within inside of the Holy Tablets, the master teacher clearly identifies us as NUWAUBUans. He clearly identifies where NUWAUBUans come from. Now, mind you, NUWAUBUan is definitely a modified word form of the word Nubian. And I've explained this in certain posts as well as certain other videos that a NUWAUBUan and a Nubian is the same. The only difference is a Nubian is a mixed Nubian that still lives in most cases in the African homeland, whereas NUWAUBUans are mixed with different races, but they live in the diaspora, or we live in the diaspora. So that's really the clearest difference between NUWAUBUan and Nubian. What is the fifth statement of belief in the Imperial Creed? We believe that we must establish a paradise on earth in the form of our own society, built on self and kind as the superior power, and working together as a family to obtain the money, power, and resources necessary for our survival and well-being. This is also stated in the Holy Tablets, chapter 10, when it says that we must embrace, that when we embrace our own, or when we embrace the way of the Anunnaki, then we see ourselves as a superior power, as opposed to embracing Mohammedanism or Islam or Hinduism or Christianity. What does it mean? Meaning that we believe in the law of submergence and that we must be submerged into the environment of what we are being taught in order to truly become it. And that in that environment, group economics is the key to building our wealth and raising our standard of living to an earthly paradise. What is its scientific statement of proof? The application of group economics within all NUWAUBUan society, combined with proper thinking and proper conduct, will give us the ability to produce a socially superior standard of living for all NUWAUBUans of the imperial order. The doctrine of submergence. So now, the Holy Tablets, chapter 19, tablet 6, verse 281 says, and I quote, and the information that we're being taught, believing that you must be submerged into the environment of what you're being taught fully was completed. The above verse out of the Holy Tablets outlined a historical fact of our teaching, which was we must be submerged into the environment of what we're being taught. And this led to our communal living style called tabernacle living. So, again, family, all of these things are within inside of the Holy Tablets. Nothing that I'm saying I'm making up. I can literally go through the Holy Tablets and give you verse after verse after verse to prove my point about our foundation of NUWAUBU and how we're supposed to actually be disseminating these teachings, according to what the master teacher himself said as well as did.